Hi, I'm Katie.
I'm Ann.
I'm Karin.
And this is the Strings Unraveled Book Club. Hey everyone, welcome to the Book Club podcast. How's everybody doing today?
Good.
Right.
Good.
Karen's wearing the cutest t-shirt from a famous landmark gas station.
It's kind of an experience. If you haven't been to a Buc-ee's, you just don't know. I didn't know until we came one, and the closest one is 70 miles away. They're supposed to build one not just up the road, but there's a little controversy that wherever they get put in, the locals are not happy because, I mean, the governments are because they get, sales tax revenue, but it just brings the worst kind of people. And by that, I mean, okay, so I've never been to a place that literally had 35 to 40 gas pumps.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow.
So
but there's still a line. There's still a line for gas. And part of it is because people, they get their gas going and then they walk away. They walk inside. But the inside is like a ginormous grocery store.
You should never walk away from your pump.
Especially they have parking spaces. They have a lot of parking spaces for people who are not getting gas. You could get your gas and you could move it, but yeah, and then, people are just not happy with the kind of people that are driving through with any kind of, it doesn't necessarily benefit local businesses because people aren't getting off the road so much to get their gas and going, oh, what a cute shop. And you're going to go over there. No, instead they're like, look, all of our money can be given to Buc-ee's. But I will say their food's pretty good and their sauces and spices are good. Yeah.
I heard
and their bathrooms really are the cleanest things I've ever seen. After each person, they self-clean. And they're completely enclosed. And they put a light above it that's either green because it's open or red because it's being used. It's in every bath stall. And the stalls, there's about 20 to 30 stalls, at least in the women's bathroom. So there's plenty.
That's awesome. Yeah, my when we went to Texas, not this last time, but the time before, I went with my aunt and uncle, and we split up for a day to go do our own things, and they took the time to go to Buc-ee's because my uncle really wanted to go to Buc-ee's, and he came home with
they're famous,
a t-shirt and a giant thing of what do you call it, beef jerky, and he had all of the treats.
Oh yeah,
he was so excited. Anyway, we are
and if
doing
you're into fishing, they have all kinds of fishing gear. Yep,
that's cool. We're doing a book today for our book club. If you didn't listen to our last regular podcast episode, not our book club, but our last, general podcast, you may have missed our announcement that this is going to be our last book club episode of the Strings Unraveled podcast. And then our September episode will be the last episode of the podcast in general. And we wanted to make sure that you knew that right at the top because we didn't mention it until the end of the episode last time. We were having a good time chatting, and it's kind of, a little bit sad for us. But this will be our last book club, unfortunately. That doesn't mean that we're not going to still, enjoy each other's company and share book recommendations and things like that. We're just not going to do it on, recorded live. We're just going to, do our own thing. But we wanted to thank you right off the bat for reading along with us for so long, and for suggesting books when you did, and for engaging in our conversation, and just for listening in general. It's been a great experience. I'm speaking for myself, but I also think I speak for everybody else when I say that this has been a very enriching experience to do the book club.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So thank you, because it's because of you guys that we're doing it. So yeah, I guess we can talk about a book now. It was my choice for book, and I wanted to read something summery and fun, and so I chose Pirates. So we read On Stranger Tides by Tim Powers. I have the little blurb here. It says, aboard the vociferous Carmichael, puppeteer John Chandagnac is sailing toward Jamaica to claim his stolen birthright from an unscrupulous uncle when the vessel is captured by pirates. Offered a choice by Captain Phil Davies to join their seafaring band or die, Chandagnac assumes the new name Jack Shandy and a new life as a brigand. But more than swashbuckling sea battles and fabulous plunder await the novice buccaneer on the roiling Caribbean waters. For treachery and powerful voodoo sorcery are coins of the realm in this dark new world. And for the love of beautifully, magically imperiled Beth Herwood, Shandy will set sail on even stranger tides, following the savage, ghost-infested pirate king Blackbeard, and a motley crew of the living and dead to the cursed nightmare banks of the fabled Fountain of Youth. So that is what we read this month. My first question right off the bat are, what were your thoughts?
Wait. You should ask a different question first.
Oh my
God,
I'm
are you working
so
on?
sorry. Okay, back up, rewind. Me. What are you guys in? Or crocheting? What are you working on?
Since the thing I wanted to work on is not with me, I am being a good girl, and instead of starting something new, I am working on my stowaway pullover.
So I love the colors.
I paused on putting the edging on the kangaroo pocket for the front, so I'm dutifully picking it up and working on my pocket for my stowaway cardigan,
Nice.
or pullover rather.
Cool.
Karin, what are you working on?
Well, I finished, I'm almost finished with a sweater that I was working on Bright Axis, and I got all the way up to where I'm ready to sew the shoulder seams, but that's blocking. So I picked up my wallflowers blanket again, and I finished chapter 5, which was all the really ginormous flowers. And now, now I'm in brainless popcorn hexy land where I have to make 50 of them. And each row is a different color. So I got 50 of these I got to make, and then I'll add the next round with the next color. And then, so these are just a 3-round popcorn, of which I'm just doing the centers right now. But,
just
on the other hand,
crank them out.
It's chain 4, join a circle, 3 double crochets, break off.
That really gets a rhythm when you have a motif you can repeat like that and just kind of production.
Yeah, I don't really even have to I don't really even have to until I get to the popcorns, and even when I get to round 2, I don't really have to think about it. I'm like, okay, next color. I like popcorns. They don't get this kind doesn't get stuck in your teeth. So 2, 4, 6.
Cool. 10. I'm working on my Dayglow tank that I talked about in our last episode. I'm like probably about 2 inches away from being done with the body.
Oh, that looks great.
That's knitting up cool.
It is. I just finished blending between my first skein and my second skein. I did a little fade action between the two because one of them was a little bit lighter, but I think that overall it's working up pretty good.
Well incorporated, yeah.
Whoever dyed this yarn was very talented.
I have to agree.
It makes it okay.
I'm biased.
I was going through the garage and looking through the stuff that I sent from the studio last spring while I was looking for something else, and I found my Anne yarn project. And that'll be my next thing I pick. I started that right after you gifted it to us years ago. But I just didn't finish the body. I don't even remember right now. But I remember because you gave me you gave me like 2 colors, I thought. We had a solid. There's a semi-solid tonal, and then there's the variegated. Yeah. So I got. So anyway, so that will be my next sweater. I'm looking forward to picking that up and doing that next.
I'm laughing a lot, not at you, but more at myself, because I came across a project that's just like that, where I have no idea what sweater pattern I was using. I mean, it's so far in. It's some kind of top-down yoke, round yoke. Yeah. And I'm through the yoke and through most of the body, so I could figure the sleeves out from there. But and I do remember my intentions with how I wanted to use the remaining yarn. So I at least
Mhm.
have that, but I have no idea what the source pattern was.
Fortunately, I think the pattern, that was one of the few times I kept the pattern in the project
Oh,
bag.
That was smart.
I
yep.
didn't keep the needles in, so I'll have to just go and check that out again. I've been trying,
I'm glad.
because it's so hard to go back and try to find more needles. I don't want
Yeah.
to keep buying more of the same needle. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna finish this project, and then
I just liberate the needles from the
anyway.
project and hope I remember what size that they were, supposed to be.
Yeah, see, and that's the
But I'm
problem. Is I'm
irresponsible.
like,
Don't
I
do
don't
like I
remember.
do.
I was gonna say, what a great segue to
I've
piracy.
been that. It's what?
Katie's reckless abandon is a great segue to talking about pirates, I
Yep.
think.
Yay. All right. Well,
Yes.
what were your initial thoughts on this book? Did it meet your expectations for a pirate/fantasy novel?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I loved it.
Did you enjoy it?
I really,
Yes.
really liked it. I didn't have any like real expectations for it because I don't know that I've really read that genre. I've certainly
Mm-hmm.
watched pirate movies,
Mm-hmm.
including the one based on this.
Yeah.
And I definitely like this
Yeah.
much better than any. I don't think I've seen the Stranger Tides
Pirates of the
Pirates of the
Caribbean.
Caribbean, but I have seen at least three or four maybe.
Yeah.
And I like this better than anyone.
Nice.
Is Johnny
Yeah.
Depp in all of them, or are there some of them that are free of him?
I think he's in all of them.
He's in all of them. Yeah,
Oh,
I looked him up, and he's
I think that's
the
probably why I
main.
stopped watching after the second one.
I
So
still like Johnny Depp, even though icky.
I just rewatched the first movie, the first Pirates of the Caribbean, and that's one of my favorite movies to put on that you don't really need to pay attention to because it's just a fun movie.
Yeah.
And I like
Yeah.
Johnny Depp. I was talking to James about this. It's this was he's absolutely the perfect person to be in a pirate movie. And that's kind of how I like him. I don't like him in everything, but I really like him as a pirate, I think he's pretty good.
See, I feel like he used to be a much more versatile actor, and even before the whole ick came about, I just was like, oh, he's dialing in. I felt like after a while there was nothing fresh about it, and he was just dialing it in. I'm like, okay. I wanted to see a little more effort put into the character.
I would love to just
I might have been asking too much.
Pay me millions of dollars, though.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you like to just show up and because of your face, you get millions of dollars?
Just because of your name and your face? Yep. I'm here.
Yeah.
Pay me my money.
I kind of want to do the
lie.
work.
I don't dislike him in anything, except I didn't really love the second Pirates movie because I was like, this was just you taking my money.
Yeah. After the first one, the second one's okay. It's okay. But it's really just worth watching the first one.
The first one was very fun.
I have not seen the one that this book is
Pirates
based on,
27?
I think there's only 4. Maybe there's 5. I haven't
that because I was like,
I would like to see this one that it's based on. Now that I've read the book,
I think it's extremely
I probably would get
loosely
irritated
based on.
though.
I don't think it's very.
That's right. They said inspired by.
I think it's Fountain of Youth is all that they kind of took from this, but so
with Disney being the creators of why our copyright code is the way it is, it's good to see them respect it.
How did the Caribbean setting and the historical backdrop of the early 18th century enhance or distract from the story?
Well, I think it's it really puts the tone of what all the characters have at risk, very austere. It makes it very clear that they're coming to an end of a era, but they're all at risk if they're not willing to give up their way of life for more than just it's hard to be a pirate. It's also their necks are on the line with the UK, with Britain.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked that we were kind of all over the Caribbean too. We were in Florida, we were in Jamaica, we're in Haiti, we're in, kind of all over the place. Um, yeah, and it was interesting that it's sort of set at the end of piracy, like not during like its heyday, but like after all of these
Yeah.
um like mythical pirates, and like they talk about the good old days and stuff like that, which I thought was an
Yeah.
interesting setting to put it in.
Well,
Way
I
back
mean,
when we were pirates.
right. Well, they keep talking about buccaneering, which was sanctioned piracy.
Right. Back when it was legal.
Yeah.
That was legal piracy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Well,
Did you guys watch Black Sails at all?
I did not.
no, I did
It's
not. I
so
was
worth
going
it.
to, and then I got distracted. Huh?
If you're still in a
It's
pirate
worth it.
mood, it's so good. And so that's also set probably about this time or very close to it, because there's a lot of kind of the same tones of what's at risk for these people's freedom and how they choose to live their lives.
That's interesting. Did either of
Also,
you?
all gorgeous people.
Yeah.
And Anne Bonny's in it. So actually
Oh,
it's
that's cool.
it's the same time frame and same setting for most of it. I think part of it ends up in Australia, perhaps. It's very good. Very good.
Did either
But
of you watch Our Flag Means Death?
I watched some of it.
I
It was
started it
fun.
and it was fun. But I remembered that it's one of your favorites, right?
It is one of my favorites, and it's got Blackbeard and
But
Steve Bonnet
I like
in it.
those guys, so
I was very
yeah.
excited when Steve Bonnet showed up in this book, but he's not, the same as in the show. But
Well,
anyway,
so
Yeah.
Steve Bonnet is like not as recognizable of a name as Blackbeard, let's say,
sure.
right? But
Yeah.
but he appears in another piece of media that I like, which is he is a villain in the middle of Outlander. He does some very naughty things
Interesting.
in the middle of Outlander. I want to say, it's like the fourth or fifth book, I think. Maybe it's somewhere in the middle of it all. And he's a
bad guy.
villain. Yeah,
He's an
very
interesting
black villain.
He's an interesting historical figure because, like, why would you give up your successful, sugar plantation to go be a pirate? It's either like in the show, it's because he thinks it's going to be fun and exciting, and he's like tired of his, normal life. In this iteration, he's sort of like blackmailed into it, right? And like magically, sort of influenced to do so. But that kind of segues into my next.
Outlander, she doesn't touch it.
Okay, just different.
He's a bad guy.
He's just bad. How effectively?
Before you move on. Wait! Before you move on. So this reminded me of two things. We're talking about the pirates and the time of history and everything. First, there's part of the book that reminded me of Princess Bride, about the Dread Pirate Scott, which it's a job that kind of keeps passing on to the next
Dread
person.
Pirate Roberts.
Roberts. Thank you. I knew I had that wrong. The other thing, it was just when we were homeschooling, we studied this part of history. The difference between a buccaneer and a pirate was the job was the same. It's just one was paid by the government and one was freelance.
One was legally sanctioned.
That's a good way to remember it.
How effectively do you think that Powers combined real historical figures with magical and supernatural elements? Did you think it was effective? Because Blackbeard is a real person, Steve Bonnet was a real person, Anne Bonny was a real person. There's probably a lot more.
100%. I bought it. I bought it as totally plausible.
I think that we just threw around a lot of iterations of those characters, and I think these were maybe the most really like fleshed out versions that I encountered.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, aside from like the magical aspects of like the voodoo and the supernatural fantasy side of it, obviously we don't know anything about these people, what these people were actually like. But yeah, I could believe that these were a little bit more fleshed out, human-y than other iterations of these people that we've talked about.
Yeah.
And
it was fun to like hear more about the Caribbean magic and the
Yeah.
traditions of that.
Yeah, it was interesting. I was talking to James about this before we started, because after I finished the book, I did a little bit of like research about like Haitian voodoo and things like that, and I kind of wish I had some context going into it, because I feel like one of the I really liked this book. I had a fun time reading this. One of my complaints is that I had a hard time. This is probably just a me thing, that there's a lot of characters or like supernaturally kind of entities that go by multiple names, and I had a hard time figuring out what they were talking about sometimes.
Like what exactly is a Loa? I was having trouble tracking that a little
Yeah,
bit. I thought it was a ghost.
yeah, and like a Loa versus a Bokor, and
Yeah.
like mate care for, or much care for, or however you pronounce it in French. And then there's also Baron Samdi, and like, is that a real, for a while I was like, is that a real person we're talking about? Is that a euphemism for something? Is that a ghost? Like, what? I didn't really understand what we were getting at some points, but by the end, things had worked itself out, and it might have been intentional for that. But I had a hard time keeping track of what the heck we were talking about sometimes.
Fair. Yep. Same. I had same trouble.
Yeah.
Because I thought the Loa was the name for the Bokor.
Yeah.
Until like that did eventually sort in my brain, but yeah, that was a little challenging to keep track of.
Let's talk about some characters. So our main character, John Chandagnac slash Jack Shandy. What do you think of him? Did you think how did he evolve over the course of the novel? Was his transformation believable? Did you like him as a main character?
Yes and yes, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I didn't love his his character's desire to keep Elizabeth on a pedestal.
Yeah.
But I thought that was interesting to share the difference of like how he felt when he saw Anne Bonnet or not Anne Bonnet,
Bonnie.
Anne Bonnie. Thank you, Anne Bonnie.
Mm-hmm.
Like just carnal lust, and that he saw Elizabeth as this like beautiful, untouchable thing that made him nervous.
Yeah.
Like objectification in both ways.
Yes.
I did feel.
But it's interesting his descent into piracy. But that actually made him like seem like show more and more fidelity.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And show himself to be of a strong character, or have a clear compass. Moral compass while he's doing something the rest of the world thinks is immoral.
Yeah. I think,
and he still believes in law and order.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I know we're pirates, but there's still due process.
I think one of the things that, yeah, because pirates still had rules and laws that they thought that they needed to follow, whether or not those lined up with the laws of the land were different, but they still had a set of rules and procedures.
But my favorite Pirates of the Caribbean quote is, "It's more of a guideline, really."
Yeah, right. About parlay.
Yeah, parlay. Yeah, he was a little bit like a Mary Sue sometimes, because it's like, oh, he's really good at sword fighting, and he's really good at like shooting guns because he's got like great aim, and he's really good at all these things, and the only reason that those things are true is because he was a puppeteer. Like,
yeah,
he wouldn't be, all of a sudden like a great pirate, right? He's like, I'm on this journey. Oh no, we're attacked by pirates. Okay, this pirate captain is actually kind of cool. Oh, now I'm his quartermaster. Now I'm the captain. Like, okay, that happened really quickly, and I can understand why the other pirates were like, what the heck? What's up with this guy? So yeah, that was one thing that was like, I mean, for all of the things that I had to like sort of complain about this book, I also couldn't care less, because it's like, what are we reading? This novel is a fun pirate novel
It's a
with
fun
magic
read.
and fantasy and
Very up
voodoo.
and
Like,
becoming a
it's not
pirate.
that serious, you know?
Okay, right. But there are those people who just show up and start succeeding.
That's true.
And I hate them.
I was reading reviews of, like, just seeing what other people were saying about this book today. And some people were, like, really in depth about why they didn't like this and that. And it was, like, all of the reasons why. It was like, guys, we're not reading some, like, really serious, like, lauded drama novel,
No.
you know, classic.
Yeah.
This is a paperback Pulp Fiction,
Pirate
you know?
romance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is fun.
I think it was very well developed.
I thought it was great.
Yeah.
I thought it was well written. And
Hey,
also,
same. You know what? Good.
oh, I was going to say, did you read or listen to the audiobook?
I listened.
That was my question.
Because the narrator was fantastic.
I know. And you know who it was?
Who?
Bronson Pinchot.
See, I heard that name, but I didn't know who that is.
He is the star. He's Balky from Perfect Strangers. Which Katie, you might
It's a
be
long,
too young
long time ago.
Yeah,
But
I don't know.
I do follow him on Instagram, and he does like just silly characters.
Yeah,
because he
That's
is
funny.
silly.
I didn't catch that until they were doing the credits at the end, and I'm like, oh,
Yes.
really? But the voices were
And I'm
really
like,
good.
That just speaks to him being such a good actor, and I really wish that he would have been featured more in his time.
I'm
he's still
looking.
around.
Yeah.
I'm looking him up, and I do
But
not
maybe he
recognize
has
this
for
person.
voiceover work.
I had a big crush on
He was
that
great.
character. Yeah.
He was great.
And he was superb in this. And I would like to follow more of his audiobook.
I know. I was thinking the same thing. I would love to. He does the voices. That was like the one thing was like I couldn't read it at the normal like 1.25 or 1.5 speed because some of the characters spoke at different like timbres of their voice and things, and it was a little hard to follow. So I listened to it at like regular speed, but I didn't care because I was having a great time.
Yeah. I had to re-listen to some parts because like really important plot things would just like happen really quick.
They would, yeah.
Like the exposition of why Blackbeard was obsessed with going back or doing this kind of magic. Like that was revealed in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Yeah. And I thought it was really good the way that like they portrayed each of the characters in vision, like when they're traveling to the Fountain of Youth and they're like and he's seeing sort of scenes from all these different people's lives, and I thought that was such an artful way to give us context for all these characters. I thought that was pretty great.
The other thing I thought was really, really well done, like in movies, like you could show me a pirate movie, and as soon as the ships roll up to each other and they start the fight scene, I'm tuned out.
Yeah.
I'm bored. I'm not interested. And that's how I feel about most movie action. Like when an action film keeps me engaged, like that's a good one.
Yeah.
He wrote those action scenes so well.
Especially,
I was engaged in every piece of action that happened.
And I don't understand how like a pirate ship works. And like I don't know all the terms for all of the different lines and sails and pulleys and whatever, but it doesn't really matter. Like I could still picture it well enough that I thought that was pretty artful the way that he did that.
Yeah. Some of the time he told you.
Yeah.
I
which
remember
was very helpful.
Like there was something he said, whatever the direction is, which maybe if one of you know how to name the terms of the boat, he said whatever and he says, and that's the back of the boat.
Yes. Yeah. The stern.
And I was like,
I know bow, stern, port, starboard. That's all I know.
Wow. I know those are boat words.
Let's talk about Blackbeard. What did you think of this portrayal of Blackbeard? Did you think that he was like, was he a true villain? Was he like an anti-hero? Is he like a gray character? Is he black or white? What do you think? Because he's bad. He's a bad guy.
Yeah. He does seem like a villain, but he just is what he is, you know?
Right, exactly.
I don't know how to describe it.
I almost felt neutral about him. Like I didn't feel like he was
I don't expect him to be anything other than what he is, and he's very clear about what he is.
Right.
But the idea of him taking on a new body.
Yeah.
Did I get that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was excited
no,
when he
he-
showed
I
up
was like,
in
that was a
the
whole
very
different
end.
aspect.
Did
Yeah.
he take over another person, or he just appeared again?
I think you kind of grow a new body. I don't think you take over a body. I think you just get a new one, because Jack didn't recognize him right away at the
That's
end.
what it is.
So
Yeah.
I don't think he
Yeah.
was exactly the same, because he was also described as like, his skin was very clear and very pink and fresh looking, like his face.
Oh, yeah.
So I think
Yeah.
it's just
Okay.
a fresh new body, I think.
Yeah, I felt neutral about him. He was
Mhm.
almost like a MacGuffin to like move
Yeah.
the plot.
Yeah, and that was like the perfect use of him, because I don't really care to
Yeah.
read a whole book about Blackbeard, but as a secondary character, as a plot device, I thought was pretty good. And I was always excited when he showed up, like, you know, something exciting was going to happen.
Right, exactly. Like there's a new.
Honestly, I thought her father was more of a monster than
Yeah.
Oh
Blackbeard.
yeah.
There's
Icky.
multiple bad guys in this book. Like
It's
you can,
like a very special form of incest.
yeah, that was so gross.
Yeah.
Because
So
at first
gross.
you don't exactly know what his intentions are, and then you're slowly starting to figure it out, and then you're like, oh, he's going to evict his daughter's soul from his daughter's body to resurrect the soul of his wife to go into his daughter's body so that he can be with his wife again, is so nasty.
Didn't his wife's ghost tell him that he shouldn't be doing this? Like early in that first scene
I don't remember.
where I think it's the very beginning of the book.
Yeah.
That he finally sees the ghost he wants to see.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, I see. His name's Edward. What are you doing here? You don't belong here. You shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah.
Or something
Benjamin.
like that.
Yeah.
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 But I hadn't caught on to what he was trying to do at that point.
No.
So
right, no. But you knew it wasn't good.
It was an angry ghost. I got that at that point.
Yeah. But between that and the doctor,
yeah,
I was like,
Leo Friend, what did you think about him?
Icky.
So icky.
No, thank you.
So icky.
So
No,
icky.
thank you.
I was listening to
His
this.
name would have been on the list.
Well, yeah. I mean, because he is the goal of rapists. Like,
Yeah.
lots of rapists just crave the power of domination.
Yeah.
And that was his goal through sexual means. Like, ugh.
I was listening to this book in the car back and forth to work, and then I was like trying to hurry up to get it done by today. And so James and I were going to Ventura on Sunday to we were going to the movies and we were going to meet some friends. And I was like, hey, do you care if I listen to my book while we're driving? You know, you have no context for what's going on in this book, but like I would like to keep listening because I need to get through it. And of course it had to be the part when he's finally gets with Beth, but then it's his mom, and then she barfs on the floor, and I'm like, and he's like, what are you listening to? And I'm like, yeah, I don't know, man. This is I'm right there with you. This is disgusting. I was like, this is the worst part of the book you could have come into.
Who put this book on?
Who picked this? Yeah. Yeah, he was. I was happy when he met his end. He was a ugh.
No love lost.
Okay. I have a question. So when they were coming, they're hurrying to try to get there before Christmas or Christmas Eve. And did you get a Weekend at Bernie's feeling? Like, I knew when the guy died, they were going to use his body as a puppet.
I like that though. I like that. I was like,
I love
when
that
you saw it coming, you were like, yes, this is good. Because I thought oh, they're gonna prop him up and he's gonna pretend to wave, and I was like, no, Katie, he's a marionette puppeteer. I know what they're going to do.
You can do better. That's right, you can do better.
So, I mean, I was not, except for the sword play, that's the only part where I was like, oh, yes, how convenient that you learned all this sword play because of puppetry.
Yeah.
But other than that, I didn't really think about, why he was good at things.
Mm-hmm.
Until then, I was like, this is why he's a puppeteer.
Yeah. Yeah.
The author might have worked back from this idea.
Yep. He needed it. Let's talk about Beth. I think she's a good example of you can tell this book was written in 1988. If you made the book nowadays, her character would have been a lot different. How does she compare to other typical female characters in adventure novels? Does she feel like a fully developed character? Did you want more out of her?
She does not feel like a fully developed character.
She's
But
like
I
the
don't know that I
quintessential.
care about having more.
That's fair.
I mean, I guess I would have liked some better female characters, even though female pirates were rare. And he dealt with one of the most famous female characters in a very, like, pathetic way. So I don't know that he was capable of giving us more.
That's fair. Yeah, she's like the quintessential damsel in distress. Like, she's there to be the reason for the novel. Like, she needs to be rescued, right?
But
I did like that.
But
oh, go ahead.
But there were times when she's like, "Look, we can get out now." She did there. I felt like there was a time like when she was on the beach, she was like not waiting for someone to save her. She's like, "Let's go save ourselves."
I mean,
and she had a little bit of. I say she had a little bit of pushback and grit when she like convinces the cook to give her something good.
Yes.
Instead of eating the leaves and twigs that. Yeah.
And she had a little bit more to do at the end of the novel, because she, like, finally there was some reason that, like, the whole, like, female half of the magic thing was kind of like an end of the story kind of, like, tie-in, I felt like. But
I actually hated that. Because she has to marry him to access her feminine magic.
I wasn't sure what...
That's very misogynist.
Why that was a thing.
Well, I could appreciate that in the idea that when we first are introduced to this marriage magic, that Blackbeard would have to marry the women to gain access to their feminine power.
Right.
And so I could accept that as the lock and key, but for her to access her magic didn't work.
And that she had never used it before.
Yeah. Well, now she's magical because she's been to the place.
Right. Yeah, I didn't love that aspect of it. It didn't make much sense, and it also was kind of,
blah.
A little blah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Themes and symbolism. Let's talk about power. How is it depicted in the book, both magical and political, and who wields it responsibly or who abuses their power?
Well, the wealthy have it all. Which seems pretty realistic.
Shocker.
Yep.
And women have none, because here's our poor Elizabeth, who's just a play doll for these men around her who are going to use and abuse her.
Yep.
Because in reality, even if we had gotten a more fleshed out Elizabeth, could she have had more control of her life?
No.
Probably.
As a woman in the late 18th century. Yeah.
And when this book was written, women were only just barely being allowed to even own a credit card without their husbands. So even when the book was written, you said this was written in the 1980s?
1988.
So, I mean,
88. That's only within 5 years of women being able to have their own credit card. So women having full autonomy, even of their finances, was still not fully a thing.
Yeah, it was interesting to see how, like, Anne Bonny was able to, like, sort of use what power she had, but then at the same time she wants to get a divorce, and it's like cut off unequivocally. It's like, that's absolutely not happening. She's going to stay married to her husband.
So the men in charge said, no, you can't have this thing that you legally should be allowed to have.
Yeah. Let's see. What did you think about magic in this book? Like, did you like the sort of, like, structure of this form of magic? I didn't know a whole lot about voodoo magic before this, which I thought was interesting. I certainly had never read anything, or, I just sort of knew of voodoo, like, from other stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I like the idea of iron and more, like, ways to, like, because the modern tools and weaponry are supposedly what's to blame for the lack of human magic. And I kind of like that as a explanation to tie the real world we're aware of to the idea of magic having been among us.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that
was.
explanation.
I
I like that too.
I really like that part too. Although I know that they were keeping her off of meat to try to reduce the iron in her blood system. But if she's on green vegetables, aren't they also high in iron? But maybe it's the wrong kind of iron.
Yeah, it depends.
Because
Yeah, I
I
don't know.
remember they said something about it had to be the right kind of iron, and this is why they had to put their blood in the water to claim ownership. Or I thought it was really interesting. I always like a good story where the plants come alive and try to come after you. So
I love
Right.
that part when they're like all turning into plants. Like I thought that was so like visceral. Like I could picture it perfectly, and I wish that there was a good version of this book as a movie.
Yeah. It felt like Ursula's Garden of
Mhm.
Souls,
Mhm.
yeah.
which maybe that's the first time that Disney stole from him.
It could be.
And this time it was time to pay up.
Actually, yeah, because that was written before Little Mermaid, the Disney
Yep.
version. So
Um.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. I liked when Ponce de Leon showed up. I wasn't
Yeah,
expecting
that
that.
was
yeah,
I know.
yeah, I
I
love
was
that.
like, that was a fun twist.
Mhm.
I
I
thought
was like,
both the twists in this novel were very fun. They were like that was fun, and then the twist about his uncle disappearing himself was
that was cool.
that was a good twist.
That was a good twist. I love a good twist. What is the book saying? Like, what's the moral takeaway of like the Fountain of Youth? What's the book trying to get at about the desire to live forever? Because the only one that's really interested in that part of the whole endeavor
Tower.
is really Blackbeard.
Right.
Because the others are
I
going
see.
because they need to like access these spirits to learn, this or that or whatever. Blackbeard wants
I don't
to.
think there was any moral consequences for the desire to do that.
It didn't really seem like it, but I also don't really know why the other characters weren't more interested in that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It was interesting. And I liked how
Well,
it made sense that when he was talking to Governor Sami or whatever his name is, Ponce de Leon, and he's like, but you're not gonna live forever, right? Like, isn't he like fading away?
Yeah.
Like his
plant is dried up and dead back at the fountain.
Yeah. Interesting.
But he knew. The Ponce de Leon knew that he was not much longer for the world, because
Right.
he's like, I should have. This is what I did wrong, and I should have been doing it right from the beginning, and there's no hope for me now.
Yeah.
But I've lived 200 years as a normal man, not worrying about what I ate or what could be my downfall.
Yeah. Let's talk about pirate lore. How did this book's portrayal of pirates compare to the typical pop culture version of pirates? Was there anything like new or different in this version of piracy?
I felt like their connection to magic was like, if you think of the original Robert Louis Stevenson type of pirate books or other books of the genre, this is the first one I've seen that actually was where they were really trying to wield magic and control it and really use it as a tool, versus saying, oh, that's that part of the world and they dabble with it, but we're just pirates, we just rob, steal, and plunder. There was a whole nother layer, I thought, of storytelling in it.
I like that, and that's a good way to put it. That they were more integrated into the places they were living by that acknowledgement, because like we know sailors are superstitious, but this almost like grounded their superstitions.
It gave it a reason. Context for it. Yeah.
It gave it a context. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still weird to me that
have a banana on a boat.
Yeah,
Have you
why
guys
is
ever
that?
heard
What?
that?
It's bad luck. I don't know
It's bad
why.
luck to take a banana on a boat.
But
But
they
there was
also think
nothing
it's
about
bad luck to have women on the boat. So that's all.
well,
That was another reason they didn't have. Well, always blaming the women. Um,
What? So
they might get you with that marriage magic.
that's true. That's probably why you shouldn't be there. How do many characters in the book sort of blur the lines between like good and bad, like gray area? Because there's like Jack slash John is the hero, right? But he's not like a good,
Heroic.
morally reprehensible guy. At the beginning, he sort of is. At the end, he's like full on pirate mode, right? And I
yeah.
loved his like escape from like Jamaica, and he's
Yeah.
climbing flagpoles, and it was a bunch of ridiculousness. I'm like, this is the perfect ending for this book. I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But did you feel like, did it affect your ability to like root for anybody? Were you rooting for John the entire time? Were you hoping that him and Elizabeth got together? Was there, yeah.
Yeah, I
I
was.
was.
I mean, I was rooting for him,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't really care if they got together.
Yeah, that
I
I
was
didn't care
rooting for
about.
Elizabeth to be saved, but then for her
Yes,
to. I was
that too.
hoping that she'd go on her own way after that. Like,
Yeah,
thank you
yeah,
for
yeah,
saving me, but now I'm
yeah,
gonna live my life because I
yeah.
don't want to be your puppet either.
Right,
There's a
right.
version of this book that like I would like to exist where Beth is not part of the equation. Like his whole motivation is to get to Jamaica, to get to his uncle, to kill his uncle, to avenge his father, right? Like that's enough
Exactly.
Yeah,
motivation for a character.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I mean, it gave us a lot of like gross reasons to hate the bad guys. Like she was,
Sure.
without that, but with I didn't necessarily need that. I felt like it wasn't, and it wasn't that it was very romantic, you know?
No.
No, it was
No, not really.
that again. It was like back to like rom-com or Disney, where it's like you meet the prince once and now you're in love.
Yeah. Yeah. Just because he's the only
Like,
person that was ever nice to you.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what is that? That's
I think the
codependency.
story definitely
Yeah.
the story definitely could have stood on its own without her character or story arc at all. They
Yeah.
could have. There's a lot more piratey stuff they could have added in there instead.
Well, if his motivation was simple, well, okay, would he have? Is there a way to craft it where she is just a one-dimensional character and we don't have to invest in her, but he is there to like avenge the people killed
Mm,
or get the ship back, like it
right.
doesn't have to be about saving the girl.
And to be
See, to
fair,
me,
it's not necessarily about saving the girl for kind of the
True.
no, not
majority
really.
of it. And at some point,
Yeah.
even it's
Exactly.
like, I got to get to Elizabeth. Okay, well, she could probably keep for another couple days. Like he says at some point, like
Yeah.
at the
Yeah.
very end, I'm
Yeah.
like, what the
Oh
heck,
yeah.
dude? I
Yeah.
thought you loved
Yeah.
this woman. Like you're not trying everything you
Yeah.
can. Like, oh, she's probably gonna be fine for a day or two. It's like, okay, yeah. He didn't seem that concerned with her as a person.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the characters, I think probably my favorite character, was Captain Davies,
Yes.
Yeah.
because it also gave really good context for John, and how much he liked and respected him. That
Yes.
as far as like morally gray goes, like he was a pretty cool pirate. He was a pretty good like stand-up dude,
Yeah.
I
It's
mean, he
like
still
he
had.
kind of was
And I
like
feel like
he'd
he was
seen the
training.
world.
He wanted
Mhm.
his successor so he could retire and have a normal life. And this is where that Dread Pirate Roberts thing comes in for me. It's like, okay, Davies wants to just kind of stop being a pirate at some point, and so here's a great successor for him. But
Yeah, I wasn't. He doesn't have a whole lot of motivation as a character. Like he's just kind of around to be like a mentor for Jack, and
yeah,
he also is our exposition because he knows Blackbeard.
Yes.
He's made this deal with Blackbeard that he's going to deliver the Carmichael.
yeah,
But I liked when he showed up again at the very end. I was very happy.
Yes.
mm-hmm.
Like very
Yeah.
Jedi.
Yeah, very Jedi. And I loved how both him, like he was there, But Leo Friend was also there, and you're like, ooh, this is exciting. Ghost battle.
Yeah.
Let's talk about favorite moments. Any scenes that stood out to you? One that I'm thinking of is I was very excited when there was a whole ghost ship that showed up. I was like, this is exciting. It's Ghost
Yeah.
Pirates. Yeah.
Yeah.
A whole ship that wasn't there, but they were like still fighting the like reflections of the battle from 100 years ago or whatever it was. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
I think I liked when what is this? Grievously fat?
Woefully fat.
Yeah.
Woefully
Yeah.
fat, yeah.
Woefully fat.
Like takes control of the captive situation and bends everybody's will to
I
his, and
loved
both
that. I was so
he
excited for him
injected,
at the
Jedi
yeah,
end.
mind trick. Total
Yeah.
Jedi mind trick.
He was great.
I love
I
that
really
part.
liked that. Yep.
And they kept saying, "Oh, he can't hear you. You got to speak." Kept saying, "Oh, he's not gonna listen to you because he's deaf." I mean, I'm not quite sure why they had to keep saying that, but I thought it was funny.
I like how Jack kept forgetting that he was deaf. Like every time he interacted
Yeah.
with him, he would talk to him and be like, "Oh crap, I forgot you can't hear me."
I wanted that to be a trick, actually. That he
I
was
was
just
kind of
fooling all the
hoping
white
that he
guys.
was fooling people,
Yeah.
but I think it just goes to show that he was very uh he's very in tune, you know, like he knows what people are thinking, he knows what people's motivations are without having to
Yeah.
talk
He
to him
learns to
because
read
he's
behavior. Yeah.
magic.
Yep.
Would you recommend this book to others?
Yeah.
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 Absolutely.
Did
Yeah.
it read it? Did reading this book change how you view like pirate stories? Does it color your influence of or your impression of pirates?
I mean, it doesn't change it any. I like a good
I
pirate
liked pirate
story.
stories before, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I
And
was
this stood up.
when I was
It was
searching
good.
this
for
is
a
one of the
book,
better.
I was Googling like good pirate novels, right? And I found like a resource on Reddit of people talking about like in like a fiction subreddit or whatever. And what I kept seeing people say is that there's a lack of good pirate fiction, which
Yeah.
I think is probably true because this book was pretty dang good.
Yeah.
Apart from like Treasure Island, this is sort of like second on a lot of lists. And there's not that
Wow.
many really good pirate novels out there.
Yeah.
Which I thought was interesting because I can't name any others. I've never read any others.
Mm-mm.
There's some kind of fun one that is like a children's literature one that we read with the kids, and it's not coming to mind. But it's like not based in reality. It's like these two orphans end up getting kidnapped on the boat, and they.
Oh, there was a book by Robert Louis Stevenson called Kidnapped.
No, it's not kidnapped. No, I know
Oh,
about that
okay.
one.
And it's not Treasure
Actually, I
Island
never
or
read it. No, it's something more contemporary.
I don't know.
But yeah, there is a great shortage. Now, two authors that I talked about last time, that have new books, they're both like oceany based. So Emily, the author of Wayward, Emily.
I
Yeah.
have it written down here somewhere. I wrote some of that down. Hopefully it's still in here.
Her new book is Sirens. So that's very oceany. And then The Amalfi Curse is the one by Sarah Penner. And so I think that's going to be witches being pirates. I picked it up in the library, but I haven't. There's some kind of witchy situation and cargo's going missing.
What's that one called?
That's The Amalfi Curse, and that's Sarah Penner.
The other is Amelia Hart.
Thank you. Amelia Hart's new book is Sirens. And I did start reading it. It's very compelling. It has sort of the same literary device of traveling across women linked across time, but I think it's gonna still be a really good read.
Nice. Well, that kind of ends my questions for this book. You want to do a 1 out of 10 kind of rating? What would you give this book?
I would give it either somewhere between 8.75.
Okay.
It's very, very good, but it's getting some negativity for poor development on the female characters.
Okay.
I would
Karin,
give
what
it
do you
an
got?
8. I'd give it an 8, mostly because it is very enjoyable. There are, some themes that I think don't necessarily age well, but
Yeah.
I think again the weak part of the female characters, even the female pirate, could have been stronger. I wish I'd had more of her. I actually just want a book. I want a book of just her stories. Actually, I want a
Yeah.
book of all female
Yeah.
pirate stories. There's got to be
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
I'll look for it.
There weren't many female pirates, but like Anne Bonny is a famous one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it I'll give it an 8 because it was fun.
Yeah.
It's a little tropey. It's a little
Yeah.
like you said, the characters aren't that well developed, but at the same time, I don't really care because it's not the kind of book that
It's
is
it's
that
just a fun
important for that
read.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
Actually, it's probably the foundation for many of those tropes.
Probably. It might be.
Because
Yeah.
what is it? It's 30 something years old. 30.
It's the same age as me. It's 37.
There you go. It's 37 years old.
Cool. Anybody want to share what else they have read this month?
Yeah.
You go
So
first,
I
Karin.
read. Hold on, I gotta pull up my Kindle. I've been doing a lot of. I was really good with this one, not to start it too early, so it'd be a little fresher.
Well done.
But in the meantime, let me go to my audiobooks. I read. I finished Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. It's a great. I
It was
started.
good.
Yeah, it's really good. So I
Remember,
started
don't talk
the.
too much about it.
Yeah, I started
Oh,
another
I
V.E.
love
Schwab,
these
The
characters.
Fragile
You're
Threads of
starting in the
Power.
middle. I know you're starting in the
Well,
middle,
okay.
though.
This is book one of a trilogy based
I know.
on
I know.
other trilogies, so I'm going to stop and go back to the
Okay.
first trilogy.
Good. The first trilogy is
Um,
so good. So good.
I just started reading a graphic novel of Wizard of Earthsea by Ursula Le Guin, and
Ooh.
it's the story about how this one was allowed, because there's been some bad versions in the past, but this one has the sanction of her daughter.
Nice.
Because it's almost a collaboration between the daughter who is in charge of Ursula Le Guin's Le Guin, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, her estate, and
people say
the illustrator, I believe the illustrator is Fred Fordham, adapted. And so his story, all of the words in here are from her original text, but not all of the words from the text are in this story. And
nice.
and one of the things they said is she was a strong believer that it's the reader who really makes up what a story is about. She has her vision of it, but she also wants, anyway. So I did that. I read Coded Justice by Stacey Abrams. I read a book that I really love called Alatsoi by Darcy Little Badger. Highly recommend that. If an indigenous lore situation. I will say I did start this one, but parts of the characters, I was listening to this concurrently with On Stranger Tides, and I had to stop because I was kind of mixing the stories up because they both had
I can see
magic.
that. 'Cause that's pirates. That's pirates, Katie. The V.E. Schwab series, what is it called? It's
And I'm
like
loving
dark.
this one. It's called The Shades of Magic.
Yeah, Shades of
Shades of
Magic.
Magic. Darker
It's
Shades of Magic.
magic.
Mm-hmm.
It's completely not based in literally not our reality.
There's four realities competing with each other. 4 Londons.
Yeah.
It's been on
One
my
of them
list.
is our.
Yeah.
It's so good.
So I am going to stop I paused because I was like, oh wait, that's in the wrong book. I was mixing them, so I focused on this on Stranger Tides, and then I was like, oh, I just flipped it over today. I'm like, oh, it's part of the Shades of Magic series. Wait a minute, this is not book one, but it said it was book one of
So,
this version. It's really book
yeah,
4.
it is a
It's not.
separate.
It's a
It breaks
separate
enough from the
trilogy
other. Yeah,
after the first trilogy.
kind
So I'll have to
of
stop
the
and go get
way,
the other.
kind of the way the shoot, I'm not gonna think of it. The series that they made that was so terrible.
But the books are so
Bone
good.
and
I know
something.
you and I are thinking about them. Shadow and Bone? No. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's sort of like how Shadow and Bone
Books.
has 3 distinct groupings of books. I think that's what
Yeah.
she's doing with this one.
Okay. So I did want to say something. So I got this from our library. We go every Wednesday.
Mhm.
But one of the things I love about our library is besides books, they have a library of things. They have a
Oh,
whole
fun.
section of if you want to bake and you don't have a mixing, a mixer, you can borrow a
Yep.
mixer. They've got special pans. Let's say you want to do some home repair, but you don't have a drill. You can borrow a
Yep.
drill from our
I
local
was
library.
looking into that recently because somebody told me that you could borrow a sewing machine from the Ventura County Library,
Yes.
and I took note
Yep.
of that because I
How
thought that was a good
awesome.
resource. And then I looked up, and there's so many things that you can check out of the library.
Yeah.
I was just
Yeah.
researching that this week. Like, yeah, it's cool.
I'm
So,
afraid of the Library of
yeah.
Things because I already have so many things. But
Well,
I
the
think
whole
it's a
point is
wonderful
then you wouldn't have
resource.
to get other things. You can get them from the
True.
library.
True. True.
But then you have to be extra responsible because, you got,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah,
Um,
I love our local library. It's not too big.
yeah.
The librarians are also super nice and super helpful, as I've never met a librarian that wasn't. Yeah, I've been
That's
lucky to
true.
find
Exactly.
really good librarians.
Um, I found a new series, which I will probably finish in the next couple of days. It's called, the author is Danielle Garrett, and the 2 R's, 2 T's in Garrett. The first book is Sprinkles and Sea Serpents, and it's like if you like cozy mysteries and romance and magic. So she is coming back to her hometown, which is a secret magic hidden town in the Pacific Northwest, and she's coming home
Ooh,
to her hometown to figure out her life after she wasn't able to make it and something bad happened in the human world. And it's like 4 books and then little novellas. So there's actually like 8 books. And
oh, that's
I'm
cool.
today the 4th book came available, so I'm gonna listen to that tonight. And they're very short. They're like 6 hour and 1 or 2 hours on the novellas,
Nice.
and they go by like in a flash. I'm eating them up like the desserts. Oh, it has a dessert in there because her family owns a bakery in this town.
Oh, that's the sprinkles.
Yes, and they're cute and they're light and they're like not spicy at all. So if you're looking for a no spice
That's
but
my
just a
that's my speed.
romance,
That's my speed.
it's Hallmark adjacent, I would say. I finished. I think when we last were doing book club, I talked about Marcy R. Rendon's series.
Mm.
Um, she's one of the authors from or maybe I hadn't. I think I had just borrowed and I hadn't listened to it yet. So Marcy R. Rendon is one of the authors from our last book, Never Whistle in the Dark. She
Mm.
wrote the
Mm-hmm.
book about, I think she wrote the story called Wingless, which was actually not one I really cared for. It was a good short story. It was about the kids who were in the foster home, who
Oh
one
yeah.
of them was plucking the wings off the flies, and then
Right.
I think
Oh.
that other character like took the beating that was coming for
Right.
the narrator.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
so this series is Cash Black Bear's series, and she starts out 19 years old, just coming out of the foster system, and she works in the field, like does farm labor in Minnesota, and she is supporting herself. She has like the local sheriff is in her corner, and he's been looking out for her forever. And the books are really good. There's 4 so far, and when I finish the 4th book, I miss her. I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to the next one. What else?
I forgot to tell you, Anne, while when you're done.
Yes. Yeah.
I finished Death of the Author.
Oh, good,
So
right?
Good. So good. Yeah, and I forgot I had a signed copy.
Oh,
Huh?
I'm going to come back to that book. I'm coming back to that.
Yeah. I definitely want to read it again.
I'm going to have to listen to it again now that I know the twist.
That story in a story. So good.
Yeah, so well done. The last thing that I read that wasn't this fabulous book was I'm working on that list of these are the best audiobooks ever that this lady put out on Reels. So she started off with Two I Love, Project Hail Mary, and Remarkably Bright Creatures. And last month I finished one of those, which was Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. That was amazing.
Matter. Yeah.
Yeah, that was so good. And then
have you read
one of the others?
Yeah. Sorry.
Oh, well, one of the others was Listen for the Lie by Amy Tintera, and it is like made to be an audiobook. It's very good. The main character, you're like not sure if you like her, so it kind of has that vibe that Gone Girl. What's that author?
I don't know.
Like all of the books by the author of Gone Girl, the main character's like not that likable, but you're still in her corner, and that's kind of how this characterization was. But it's also a podcast episodes are some of the chapters, so it really like
cool.
lends itself to being an audiobook, and I really enjoyed it, and the unveiling of what's happening in this murder mystery is
cool.
very satisfying. Yeah. So I've been pretty good book devourer. Oh, and I read 2 actual books. I'm probably your influence, Katie. I've been really like reminding myself that I have like a really good life, and there's not a lot to want for, and I'm very lucky, and I want to like romanticize the good that's in my life. So I've been looking for sources of that. So I've been reading the author I mentioned last time, Pico Iyer, and he has a lot of good stuff about like looking at the beauty around you.
Yeah.
So there's a book called Ordinary Time by Annie B. Jones, and it's just about being someone in your middle ages, running a business, and enjoying the small town you're in. And it was like she gets a little in depth. She definitely made me cry a couple times, but it also like isn't, we're not going into her closet and digging around in her bones, it was very nice and very relatable and really good.
Okay.
And then so as a personal essay book, I definitely recommend it. And then the other one was the comic book version of Slaughterhouse-Five.
Okay.
Which was superb. And I think kind of done in the same light of honor that the book you were describing was, Karin, in that like I believe all the text was actual text, even though not all the text of the book was in the comic book. Because I was like, I hadn't read Slaughterhouse-Five since I was in high school, and I picked it up and looked at the first couple pages, and like the intro pages were the same text pretty much. And ironically, I don't know if you guys recall reading Slaughterhouse-Five.
I don't know if I ever have.
It's a great book.
I mean, I liked Fahrenheit 451, so I probably would like.
Well, same dystopic, but different author.
Yeah.
But it's the same kind of it's assigned at the same time in high school.
Yeah.
My high school didn't assign it, so.
I love Kurt Vonnegut. That's probably why I love him so much, because I also was never assigned any of his books. I fell upon them on my own. But in Slaughterhouse-Five, there is a famous drawing that I'll let you guys look for. It's in the beginning of the book, and it's not in the comic book.
Oh,
If you know, you know.
Did your mom have to sign for permission? Because that seems like one of the books that's on a lot of banned book lists.
When I was 14 and I read it, no.
I was in high school. I was a senior, and we were
I
assigned.
took it in the library. It wasn't an assigned book.
Oh, okay. When I was in high school, I was assigned. What's the one where they go off to the island?
Oh,
Not
I
Animal.
hate that book. It's
I actually love that book.
Lord of the Flies.
Lord of the Flies. As
Yeah.
a high school senior, I still had to get permission from a parent to read that, even though it
Weird.
was an assigned book for the academic decathlon. So
That is
I was one of
interesting.
those kind of nerds.
I don't recall ever needing permission slips for any books that were assigned to me.
Because it was on a banned list,
Mm-hmm.
parents had to approve of it. So I was like, I'm a senior.
Yep.
I'm almost 18. So really?
Right. Katie, what else have you read this month?
nothing.
You assigned a humdinger.
I
This
did.
is a good one.
Good.
This
I'm
is a
glad
good
you
one.
enjoyed it. I have been reading, but I haven't finished anything noteworthy. So, well, I think that brings us to the end of our episode today, guys. Sad to say, our last book club episode.
Yeah.
I have
Well, what? We've read almost 90 books together.
That's a lot. That's a lot of books.
It's a lot.
Well done.
Yay, go us. Thank you guys for going on this journey with us. Thank you for your support always. We have always and will always appreciate you guys for listening, for being just great supporters of us. And we would not be doing it without that support. And in the future, keep in touch with us if you have other book recommendations that we might like. Let us know. We'll have our email up.
Yeah.
It's I'd have to look it up now that I started this sentence. I don't remember what the email is right off the top of my head, but I'll look it up real quick.
We're also on Instagram. You can always
you can always find us. The links for all that is in the description, and the email will be in the description. It's stringsunraveled@gmail.com. But yeah, we'll be around. So reach out to us. Yeah.
And if you see us in real life, you can ask us what we're reading, because this has definitely reignited my love of reading.
Yeah, it's been great.
And my addiction to books now.
That's, it's a good addiction to have. There are way worse things that you could be spending your money on,
Right.
Mm-hmm. And support your local library. That's important.
Right.
Buy books from your local bookstore, but also check books out from your local library. Both of those things are important.
Yep.
I've been enjoying that I can audition a book from the library.
Yes.
And then decide if I need it.
Yeah.
I did that with a cookbook.
I want to own this.
I did that with a cookbook. I was like, I like so much of this. I definitely will get a copy of my own, because it's nice to be able to try something.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that is it for us today, guys. We still have one more regular podcast episode coming out at the beginning of September. So if you want more from us, you can listen to us there. And I think that's it. So thank you guys for listening. We appreciate you and we love you. Goodbye.
Yep. Bye, everyone.